Reggae is the consciousness of the people coming together. All that struggle is the source of your power. The messenger sometimes has to be the message. Guys, welcome back to the Cinema Scale. Today on the scale, we have Bob Marley, One Love. Jamaican singer, songwriter Bob Marley overcomes adversity to become the most famous reggae musician in the world. Obviously, this movie is based on the true life of Bob Marley. The film begins with a nice, sobering message from his son, Ziggy Marley, stating that he had a direct hand or influence in being able to make sure that this movie was authentic and filmed right just for true Bob Marleyan fans. The film starts off with Bob in his early stages of childhood. You get a quick glimpse of him in his youth, and then it starts to progress from that point forward. The entire film stems on the fact that he was almost a product of murder in his home country of Jamaica. And so because of that, he decides to leave and go to London to change his entire rhythm, his entire sound, his entire method and approach to music. And then he starts to travel from country to country to country until finally he ends up back in Jamaica to be able to see if he can achieve this goal that he wasn't able to achieve earlier in the film. The film stars Kingsley Ben-Adir as Bob Marley and Lashana Lynch as Rita Marley. And there throughout the film, you have some supporting cast members that really all bring it together. I will say that Kingsley as Bob Marley, spot on. His performance as this monumental, inspirational singer was indeed phenomenal. The film starts off venturing into the life of Bob Marley, beginning with the early days of his childhood. And the film then begins to take you on the journey of his life through his childhood years, moving into his teenage years, and then into his adult years. And as you're progressing through the film, there are occasional timestamps, and then there are moments in which you are taken from the present time to his past, from the present time to his past. The story is really founded on the fact that Bob Marley was an individual who believed in his music. The entire message of this movie was summed up in the fact that Bob Marley felt as though he could be able to unite two opposing sides with the message and power of humans' mutual love for music, ergo the title One Love. The interesting thing about this particular film is when you're playing a real life person, you're going to be especially interested to know if that lead character is playing that person to the point where you don't even recognize who they are. Kingsley, he definitely brings Bob Marley's character to life. During the end of the film, you're able to see real life footage of Bob Marley and how he performed. And it's evident that Kingsley did his homework. He didn't just take this character for granted, but rather he put on an entirely different persona. We know that he was in Secret Invasion, the Disney Channel Plus series, and as the villain there. But coming into a role as serious as this, it was elegant stuff, man. It was really good. Now, obviously, Lashana Lynch, she has nice record under her belt, also from the MCU. The way she portrays his wife, just a straightforward character. It's really a straightforward film. So she portrays his wife, Rita Marley, in this film. You can definitely see that the essence of this character was much more to her than just playing the wife. She really gave this character strong development. It's definitely something that you will leave the theater feeling satisfied with. That his love for his wife was evident. That was something that really drove him throughout this film, and the fact that he wanted to unite his people, right? He definitely drives the character in a way that really leaves you feeling with something. There's so much more to Bob Marley than people may have realized. His life was short lived. And so, in that way, I know the film can be a bit rushed. Runtime for this particular movie was an hour 47 minutes. So, that was something that was a bit difficult to be able to acquire all of this storyline in such a short amount of time. It was a film that will leave anyone motivated. It's a film that will inspire you not to give up if you're going through a particular trial. It's a film that is unique, to say the least. It's short. It's very short. If I have to put, hands on it, it's a very short film. I thought that was unique because of the fact that, again, you're talking about someone's life. There were moments where the film, it goes quick, from that first scene to where you're seeing him in his early ages of life to the next couple of scenes in which he's an adult and then real life is happening. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That can be a bit of a challenge for you to keep up with the film. The pace that they're constantly moving in connection with telling this story. It seemed as though they were rushing towards something, whatever the reason is. So there are moments that sometimes you're not going to be able to understand everything that they're saying. There were moments where I'm thinking to myself in this film that it is a bit short and rushed for the life legacy and saga of Bob Marley. I know Ziggy Marley had his hand in making sure everything was authentic and done right. There could have been a little bit more character development and connection with his life so that you can go deeper into his backstory, deeper into his personal life. But again, if that's all the records that they had in connection with who Bob Marley was, then it didn't make sense to add anything extra. Because Bob Marley really stood for his music. That was really his position in life, that his music could be able to have an influence and change people's lives. No post-credit scenes for this particular movie. However, there are scenes after the credits begin to roll of Bob Marley in concert. There are descriptions of what happened to him prior to his death, and then there is some information that connects in connection with what happened with the success of his music. Just some statistics and highlights there. When you leave the theater, you will feel something, a little tingle in the heartstring, a little tug, as it were. Definitely a film that moves you to action. It really moves you to feeling and emotion. Yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments in connection with Bob Marley, One Love. Definitely a film that moves you to action. It really moves you to feeling and emotion, and really being able to just bring everything together as to what Bob Marley stood for. So, yeah, Bob Marley, One Love.